Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Wake Up Wednesday. My name is Hersan, and I'm actually the program manager here at the Playbook at CSC. Chirag's actually on the road this morning for Compass Retreat, but despite his absence, he did want to keep us connected and engaged, so he made a 15-minute recording of this past week's Playbook session available for today. So I'll play that recording shortly, and thank you for joining us for Wake Up Wednesday. Hold on one moment here.
Say, have you ever wondered what an agent does with a buyer in exchange for the compensation they receive and how it impacts ultimately your transaction? And then I would have a list of all the things that the buyer agent does. And you could say effectively by doing that and them being unrepresented, they have to do all of these things on their own. And the second choice, the second thing to factor in your decision in this is that assumes that a buyer does not want an agent or any kind of representation in the largest financial asset purchase of their life. Or the third one is we'd have to represent both parties, and here's all the work we do for a buyer, and here's all the work we do for you. So if we're doing the work of both sides of the transaction, we would want to be compensated for. Is yours an agency disclosure state, or you're a transactional broker? Were you?
We, DC, Maryland, and Virginia are buyer agency. And I mean, I guess some people may do dual agency, but we don't do it. Compass doesn't do it. So yes, you can do, I think they call them ministerial acts, right? If a theoretically, if a buyer told me everything they wanted to write in a contract on my listing, I can write that for them, but I cannot represent them.
Exactly. And the other thing is New York, where I sold real estate, it was an agency state as well. And so, you know, in the end of it, most people don't want to pay that much money for no representation. So then you go back again, like, what are your goals and expectations of an agent that partners with you in the sale of your home, right? And they're going to go through it. Does that make sense to everybody? Look, literally, remember, you want to make decisions based on facts, not feelings. And this whole entire thing is being able to explain all of these different options to them based on data, logic, and scenarios. Now, look, in the end of the day, Heidi, I'm coming to you. Don't worry, I see you.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
I could see, I mean, I think I would know how to handle this, but I could see certain sellers, especially people who work in certain industries, thinking that it's just to their advantage to have a buyer that's not represented because, you know, that person, and which is all true, that that person won't know how to negotiate and all of that. And, you know, I think some sellers, again, in certain industries, will think that it's,
but it's not their, but the simple thing is, it's not their choice. It's not their choice.
Right.
And you're going to say, look, even in this scenario, we could offer out nothing, but now a buyer will come and they will have agents. They could potentially have an agency agreement to pay their agent a fee. And they're literally going to write it into the offer. And we could show you what an offer looks like. And this is what's going to come up out of it. So it's something eventually that we're going to have to face one way or another. Heidi? Thank you, Leslie.
So I think going forward, what is really important for us all to remember, and in Houston, we had a great meeting about this the other day. And I think what is important too, as agents, we do a lot of stuff and give people things that we should not give to them until they are signed and under an agreement. You know, you really shouldn't be taking buyers out and looking at houses until they understand what the agreement is. You shouldn't be sending them comps. You shouldn't be doing that. But we do that as a service before these people are even under contract. And I think we do that because we're trying hard to get their business. But I think as a collective, we all have to say, like, this is my professional fee. And let's come in, let's sit down, let's talk about what is going on, and let's come together with an agreement. And if the seller doesn't want to offer the 3%, this is everything that I'm doing for you. Here's all the addenda that goes to the contract. I want you to read all of these and all this kind of stuff. And my thing with the seller is, if they don't want to pay a buyer's agent and they want to represent that, then that, to me, without getting into like stirring up a whole other, case of worms here, is that you're going to have more lawsuits with that, because if sellers are not doing sellers disclosures, or they're not, it could just open it up to a whole lot of different things. But I just think we need to own what we're doing. And we really do, like what you've been talking about, have to create value. And I think we do a lot of stuff for buyers and sellers that we insulate them from, to kind of protect them from all the drama that goes on behind the scenes. And I think maybe it's time that we start letting them know what we do.
Well, one, Heidi, how long have you heard me talking about this?
Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and it's really kind of funny when I'm on a whole group of texts with agents, and now I brought it up to them, a year and a half ago when we started talking about it, and now they're all talking about it. I'm like, I told y'all this was happening, a year and a half ago. But I will tell you, we had an excellent presentation at our Houston office, and one of our agents says, if it says zero compensation, in special provisions, I am writing, seller will pay buyer's agent commission. And maybe we need to start calling it a professional fee and not, and then we also have to be willing to walk away too.
It's like in everything else in the world. You go to a lawyer, you go to a doctor, you go to a dentist. The dentist tells you how much they're going to charge you for the cavity, the Novocaine, and everything else. And they just tell you, and I like the word, the investment for my services, because you want to use the word investment versus a professional fee, right? Okay. Fee versus an investment. Look, I'll break this down to you. There's a cost versus an investment. Does anyone know the difference between a cost versus an investment? You make investments to protect your costs. So think about this. How much does it cost you to run your business every month? How much does it cost you to run your household every month? That equals the cost. Now, the investment in coaching that you make to show up to be here every day is that so you earn income to protect your costs and you're not figuring it out on your own. Every month that you try to figure out, let's just say this scenario on your own, that's the cost. The investment you make to figure this out and know what to say it, how to present yourself is protecting your cost. So when you get into buyers and all of these different things, it doesn't matter the words you use and everything else. There are three types of people. There are people that have it made up in their mind that they're not going to pay you anything. There are people in their mind that have it made up that they should pay you and they understand it. And there's the third group of people, which we now have to address, the people that can be influenced one way or another based on the words you say and what you offer. The idea that everyone that has a real estate license deserves to earn the same compensation on a transaction is crazy. How should some person that is a part-time agent that does not know anything about real estate and is just literally opening doors and does not really offer a professional service should get the same amount of money as all of you? That's what the problem is. Now, the interesting part about this is what the National Association's Realtor, their president, I forgot the woman's name, I would say probably put out the most disgraceful video I've ever seen representing an entire trade organization. Literally everyone's in a state of like fear, doubt, worry. Has anyone seen that video? Okay, so there's a problem in itself, right? Go to Inman or go to the NAR page and look at it. The woman starts the video off by saying how the disgraced president retired. They're getting so many warm wishes. Like, why the hell do I care about that? She's urging transparency on our side. It's probably the worst video I've ever seen in my entire life. Then there are other people that are influencers and working with agents that are saying, we have no new information. You have a lot of information. Have you noticed what nobody is doing out there is telling you exactly what to do? Because everyone acts like this is some like Jack in the Box surprise, like peekaboo, like surprise. This has been coming for a long time. A long time. And in the end of the day, just remember me for saying this. A real estate agent is the most expensive luxury service you'll ever buy or invest in your entire life. It really is. Think about it. Think about what you expect for $1,000 a night hotel, and think about how buttoned up their services. This is an opportunity for all of us to raise the industry, raise our professions, offer people a better service, be forced to not operate by like the pings, dings, and rings, and offer a repeatable, predictable system. If you don't know how to do this, it's every day goes by, you're going to lose money. And the fact that so many people are freaked out and no one wants to touch this conversation with a 500-foot pole. Have you ever noticed that? How many people out there and all these strangers are saying, hey, let us show you exactly how to share your value proposition? Not many. So this is a combination. If you look at the recipe, it's having effective conversations, it's being a great listener, understanding how to ask the right questions, understanding how to offer a systematic approach, how to understand exactly what somebody wants and then sharing in the context of what's important to them. Understanding the nuances of agencies, writing in your compensation in, having different conversations with your clients based on every single scenario. That is the tactical aspect to doing this. But if we simply can't explain to somebody what we do for the money that we're asking for, how is anyone supposed to pay us? It's like going to a car dealer and you see an advertised offer for $85,000, and then they tell you the car you want is $120,000. And I'm like, well, what does this car have? And they're like, well, it has a great tech package. Well, what is a tech package? And why am I paying more money for it?
Chirag, I think one more thing too, as far as this goes, I think we also are getting stressed out, and there's probably going to be sellers that don't want to pay, but I think for the most part, sellers realize, I'm hoping that they I haven't had to deal with it yet, that they're going to realize that some compensation needs to be done. I'm hoping most of them are saying, but if they're not, they're going to work.
Even if they don't want to offer anything, what are they going to do when a buyer presents an offer with the commission based in the offer? It doesn't really make a difference of what they want to offer. The other thing that we all need to prepare for is seller concessions, right? Remember seller concessions? That in a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loan, you can get up to 3%. In a seller concession, I believe in an FHA loan, it's up to 6%, unless those guidelines have changed. Check with your lender. So look, there might just be a 3% seller concession that goes towards their closing costs, which is where their compensation or fee would be done to kind of offset the cost. So a couple things. Don't say the word standard commission, what we offer. Present what other people are doing. When they see that other people are doing it, it'll give them the choice to figure out if they want to be the one home out of X that doesn't offer anything. Number 2, practice those 4 different scenarios. Number 3, whether you get the list from us or you get the list from someone else, you need to be able to clearly say, and like one of the things that we're most excited about from the programming for next year is we'll be able to give you a list. You'll be able to ask any person, have you ever wondered what an agent does exactly in exchange for the compensation they receive? And you're like, here. Same thing with a buyer. And then you're going to be able to follow the dialogue that says, what you're thinking is this looks like a lot of stuff. The second thing you're probably feeling is that this is overwhelming. And the third and most important thing that you're probably wondering is, how does this fit into my goals and my expectations? And that's the purpose of our conversation today.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Wake Up Wednesday. Hope you found that valuable to your time. And Chirag will be here again next Wednesday for Wake Up Wednesday and take some of your time back. Thank you for joining us.